but Ottawa had news that they revealed on Tuesday. They had 3 guys retire, and one of them was Jalen Saunders. And Tim Baines of the Ottawa Sun said it might be a retirement where they move him to the retired list because he was in an automobile crash and he might not be healthy, but he still wants to play. My question for Ottawa is, if they don't have Jalen Saunders, who are their weapons on offense? It's a team. I'm not overwhelmed with the talent they have front to back, but when I saw Jalen Saunders sign, I went, okay, Jalen Saunders, RJ Harris at the boundary slot, Brad Sinopoli. We could find somebody to be those other 2 spots, plop in another Canadian. This is the beginning of something. But if it's without Jalen Saunders, I don't know who Ryan Davis and Marvell Ross and Wesley Lewis are, other receivers on their depth chart. To me, that's a big blow that I don't know who Matt Nichols gets the ball to in that offense.
Yeah, and I was hoping that they were going to, because just like you're saying here, when they went Jalen Saunders to the field side there, I'm thinking, okay, he's going to be your skinny seams, your post, your wide side corner guy. You're going to put a Dan Peterman or a Canadian, maybe a Wesley Lewis on the wide side wide receiver. RJ Harris, he can be running similar stuff where it's the in-breaking routes in from the boundary slot back position, or he can run to the corner. You got Sinopoli running those unders. All of a sudden, you're starting to go, okay, now we've got free safeties that have to choose. Like, do you drive on RJ Harris on an in-breaking route to the boundary? Do you run a skinny over the top with Jalen Saunders? Do you have Brad Sinopoli catching a billion balls, checking down through the middle or sitting in the middle of zones? And now, like you say, you take away Saunders. And obviously, we're thinking about his health first and foremost, because I saw the pictures that he put up on Instagram of the crash. It looked terrifying as all hell. Like, he's lucky to be in as good a shape as he is at this point, it seems like. But at that point, you start to go, okay, yeah, if he's not there, what is this going to look like? And that leads to my one big question, which selfishly, I was going to say, where does Dan Peterman play? Because I'm planning on Dan Peterman. And again, I say selfishly because I went to Mac with him and I know him pretty well. But for me, I genuinely wonder, when he got picked up in free agency by Ottawa, Paul LaPolice obviously circled him and said, we need to get this guy because he can do more than we have given him in Winnipeg. We couldn't give him much in Winnipeg because we had Andrew Harris. Andrew Harris is a ball dominant player, whether it be through the air or on the ground. So when I see Dan Peterman getting to that roster, I immediately went, oh, wide side wide receiver. He's going to be Drew Wolotarski. But there's a wonder for me whether or not he's actually going to be the Nick Dembski role. And that I find really interesting, because people don't think of Peterman as being a Wolotarski, or sorry, as being a Nick Dembski guy. But right. I'm telling you, he's got the ability to do that. He's got the looping and the motion and the backfield and slipping to the flats and the running the ball. He can do a lot of really creative stuff. But my real one big question on this team is, when I talk about Winnipeg in 2019, everybody knows it ran through Andrew Harris. It didn't matter if it's Collaros, Nichols, Strevler, whatever. It went through Andrew Harris as long as he was there. And again, yes, the running back delineation and Johnny Augustine comes in, he does his thing, and Brady Oliveira looked pretty good. Maybe it was a little bit system-based, but Andrew Harris powered that thing right through the Grey Cup. You saw how dominant he was in that final game that we've seen. And now I'm wondering, can Paul LaPolice, with whatever, with or without Jalen Saunders, with or without having Dan Peterman in that Wolotarski-ish spot or that Nick Dembski-ish spot, can any of that work? Can any of it be productive if Timothy Flanders can't be Andrew Harris? And I don't know the answer to that. I really don't. But it's, even if it's not Timothy Flanders, if it's somebody else that comes in and amazes, can they run what they are doing in the backfield if they don't have consistency that they can lean on like they did with? I'm sure Lapo has a billion ways that he can beat you. Like, I got immense respect for that guy, as you do. But I'm wondering if it's going to take the shape of what Winnipeg did in any way, shape, or form. Can it look as productive if they don't have that constant threat in the backfield? Because when you're watching a Winnipeg game in 2019 and for years beyond, everything was eyes in the backfield. What's 33 doing? Okay, now I can focus on Darvin Adams and whoever else is out there. But you had to key on the backfield at all times. If Nichols doesn't have that, I wonder how they're going to produce.
Timothy Flanders, 100 carries in my database, 103 carries. Really nice yards before carry, which is kind of what Winnipeg did. 2.4 yards after contact, which is just fine. That's a real question. You know me and running backs, and I feel like they're interchangeable. If they're two tackles, if they settle on two tackles that can move the pile, I think, pardon me, they'll be good on that. But Ottawa, it could be a long year in Ottawa. Hamilton's the final team in.
What did you hang on a second? What did you think of Nichols coming out on TSN radio and saying, "I hope everybody picks against us"? I thought that was really interesting because he put even more weight on his shoulders. So we're talking about Arbuckle here earlier on with Toronto. And Nichols is basically saying, yeah, pick against us. I can't wait for you guys to challenge us and see what happens. That's not going to look great if they actually struggle the way we expect them to based on the challenges that they're up against.
Yeah, and he's not going to be busting out that game manager hat if they start the season 1-6, right? I thought it was fine. I kind of liked that from him. But to me, Matt Nichols is like the 6th or 7th best quarterback in the CFL. So I don't think that Matt Nichols changes anything by himself the way Mike Riley can change things by himself, the way that Cody Fajardo in 2019 could change things, right? I don't see that in Nichols. So to me, that's a guy that needs weapons. He's got an offensive coordinator who makes him twice as good as he is and vice versa. But if you're throwing to me and Marshall, well, you're pooched. You're absolutely in a ton of trouble. So I like it, but I don't think we're seeing the game manager hat be busted out for any news conferences this year.